Hello and welcome to a game of Dota 2. It is the first game of the season, the new season of StarSeries, StarSeries Season 7. And we have ourselves the honor of casting this game. And I say we because I am joined by none other than Vickermont. Vickermont, welcome back.
Thanks, it's really good to be back, Shiver, and I know we were discussing just now, but I'm really excited about this. I feel like StarLadder is really ringing in the new Dota season as a whole, and it's cool that we get to watch a team like Kaipi to kick it off too.
Yeah, exactly. And they have AOI 2000 standing in for them, so another star player added to the list. And I fully agree with you. StarLadder also last year is the one that kind of forces teams to have their lineup complete. It forces them to make decisions. I mean, okay, you know, they could probably bicker around who's going to be joining what team, etc. for another month or so, but StarLadder is the one that starts and says, you know what, this is when we start the season. We're not going to wait for teams to finally make their own decisions. We're going to force them to decide now. The only one that they are apparently a little bit reluctant with is Navi, indeed.
Navi has decided to go with a team full of TBAs,
Exactly. But they are still here. They're actually not confirmed completely. I am going to assume that they're going to play, though. I thought about this, like, are they still going to play in StarLadder? But they have such a big Russian following. And StarLadder is such a big Russian tournament, they can't afford not to play. I mean, that would be such a blow in the face for a lot of the fans, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, they were the champions of StarLadder for every season until season 6. So this is definitely their home turf in a lot of respects.
Exactly. I fully agree. Let's take a look at what we have right here. I actually have casted 2 games today that had a Centaur in them. Both got drafted by Goblak, by the way. Was quite interesting to watch those. And in all games, almost all games, Abaddon was banned, but completely ignored in this game. So that's the first thing that I note. We still have IO Rider banned out, no surprise there. Timbersaw and Chen removed from the pool. Well, that's quite interesting as the first bans. Puck Clockwork banned out as well, with now the Weaver banned out by CD. Can't describe. I didn't know it was that.
Yeah, it's kind of they have a neat little logo too. I like it. Yeah, I'm not too surprised by any of this draft. I'm definitely looking out to try to see how the new heroes in Captain's Mode are used, if at all. That's cool to hear that Abaddon is getting a lot of interest. I didn't get to watch this morning's game, so I didn't really see that. This draft, though, is very typical. All of these highly valued heroes are heroes that you'd expect. The only vaguely surprising thing would be the Timbersaw, but I'm actually not that surprised about this. First off, Timbersaw is really strong. Secondly, Kaipi comes from a scene where Timbersaw is valued pretty highly. They have Eternal Envy as a drafter. The North American scene values Timbersaw very high, especially as a solo mid. And he is very strong in that role, so I'm honestly not surprised. Also, the pure damage is just... Timbersaw is a really crazy hero. It's not surprising to me to see him banned, even in the first phase.
Yeah, one hero that I'm kind of... Look, I don't think it fits anymore, but I would like to see it from KP still. It's Spirit Breaker. Now they have a Visage and a Nyx Assassin already, so that's probably going to be their support duo.
They always support it.
Yeah, and there won't be any space anymore for Spirit Breaker, but in theory there's still a chance that Nyx will go mid. It will be interesting to see how the lanes are going to be distributed, because we know that Sing Sing has been basically training a lot of Visage a while, so maybe he's going to play the Visage still. We know that AY is the carry normally for his previous team or his team. We don't know.
Yeah.
It's the Dignitas, of course, or
I hear
no idea.
I do hear that he's been practicing support, so there's been all sorts of little scurrilous rumors floating around, and one of the rumors is that AUI is actually considering joining Kaipi. So right now he's listed as a stand-in because their last slot is still TBA.
Yeah.
But my understanding is that he's actually a possibility to fill that role. I've heard maybe Sing mid and AUI with Pila Dai as the supports, but I don't know.
Well, we're gonna see it. It will be interesting. I mean, over these tournaments, I mean, what better way to test your possible new team members to just play in StarLadder, right? I mean, that's the ultimate test. Official games, no playing around, no scrims, just practice, or just real matches. So yeah, we are gonna see the training ground basically of the teams here with StarLadder. We have a CD. They picked up a nice support duo as well. Naga Siren and Jakiro, of course, work very well together with the Ensnare, followed up by the Ice Path. Lifestealer there as well, so that means that they can set up for the open wounds. Darkseer on the off lane, and they know that they're probably going to be up against the Storm Spirit in the mid, so they can pick up against that if they want to. And Storm Spirit, it's not that hard, sorry, to be up against the Storm Spirit mid. especially not before level 6. So should be a fairly solid draft for Counter-Strike, as in, I think they're going to be very happy with the heroes that they were able to pick up. And that's, of course, the most important thing right here. Not how you kind of counter your opponent, but how are you going to be able to play something that you're comfortable with.
Yeah, I think CDCD's lineup here is just very well considered. It's got all good heroes. They adapted to their opposition pretty well. So this Chen ban is a good ban, but I think like AUI has just been playing Chen nonstop recently, so maybe they did a little bit of research. They looked at his match history. They said, hey, this guy's playing Chen nonstop. And they decided to take him out as a result of that. But so I actually like both teams' lineups. I think either of these can definitely win. I do like the Queen of Pain ban from Kaipi. Once you've committed to the Storm Spirit and probably are going to run a mid, you don't want to face Queen of Pain because it's not a very fun matchup for you.
Yeah, there are still a couple of others that would also be quite tricky for Storm Spirit. I think that CD will be able to pick up something nice for them, but we'll find out. I like that they picked up, or that KP picked up the Storm and the Nature's Prophet. Normally, of course, Storm Spirit being the counter towards the Nature's Prophet. But this time they're both there. Means that we're going to have a lot of movement on KP, because not just Storm and Nature's Prophet can move around on the map fairly fast. Also, Nyx Assassin, with his Vendetta, can move around and will move around a lot. So KP very mobile so far. CD, their mobility maybe a little bit less, but they've got strong team fights. So should people come towards them, they have got a lot of things that can stop initiations from happening. You have got a Rage, you've got a Song of the Siren. If Jakiro can get an Ice Path off, that's of course very nice. You have a Surge, so they have a bit of escape mechanisms on all of their heroes. And they have got this team fight with the Song, with the Ice Path, the Macropyre, the Vacuum in Ice Path Macropyre. Very strong, and a lot stronger than KP's team fight, what they have so far.
That's definitely true. Kaipi, they do have some neat things, like Nyx Assassin, of course, is amazing at stunning, but I do agree if CDCD set up big set pieces. They have the Darkseer Jakiro combo, it's really classic. I mean, you talked about the Naga Siren. One of the standout heroes of TI3, really, to me at least, in a support role, which is where she's sort of been adapted to. TI2, she was a dominant carry, TI3, she was a dominant support, and that's really how we're seeing her, is in that support posture. KP, though, the Beastmaster, I still feel like at the end this draft is playing a little bit of catch-up. This Beastmaster is because they really don't have much of any tools to deal with Lifestealer. This gives them a really, really good tool to deal with Lifestealer. Actually lets them put the Storm Spirits in a tri-lane safe, which is how they ran it in their finals in the ISO Cup against TTD. So that's something that they've been playing around with. I know Eternal Envy plays this hero. I like the Beastmaster. I think it's critical to have some tool to deal with the Lifestealer, but I totally agree with you, Shiver. Big set-piece fights are going to be a serious problem unless Storm Spirit gets really big.
Yeah, one of the things that I find now a problem as well is that KP, in terms of late game, we know that Nature's Prophet is one of the stronger late game heroes, just in terms of split pushing and all that. But they don't really have one of those hard carry heroes, like Lifestealer is already there for CD, and potentially they have a mid hero that can do the same. I kind of lack the solid carry cores on the side of KP. Now, if they're lucky, CD won't be having one of those mid heroes that can turn into a solid carry core either, and that will help them out a little bit, but we'll see what they go for. I mean, Dragonite is still in the pool and will be able to be up against the Beastmaster, and if you're assuming that Beastmaster is going to be in that mid lane, there's a lot of heroes that you can put up against him that will just be able to be that core. And Dragonite, like I said, he is one of those heroes that later in the game will have a bigger carry potential than the Beastmaster.
Yeah. It's a pretty smart choice. DK against Storm is kind of but now that it's DK against Beastmaster, you feel very, very comfortable with this. And yeah, as you mentioned, it can transition into a bit of a core farming role. I mean, Kaipi's lineup, even with the lack of a traditional hard carry, there's definitely routes to victory here. Bone 7 is going to, if he does well enough, just do a lot of split pushing. Cool thing about having Storm Spirit is if Storm Spirit has good farm, like if he's very well leveled and has a couple of good intelligence items, you can use the Nature's Prophet to split push. It baits maybe 1 or 2 TPs back, and you just crush that person with a Storm Spirit by just zipping in and killing them. So, knowing that, CDCD, every time that Nature's Prophet starts to split push, they have to bring more and more people back, because it's not safe to sort of bring just Naga back or something. So then you fall into the position of the split push, which already is a pain in the butt to deal with, becomes a lot more painful since you have to commit almost your entire team to defending it. So for CDCD, it's going to be about forcing fights before Nature's Prophet has enough farm to split push very quickly.
Yeah, and also, like you already mentioned, before Storm Spirit has that potential to be that force that people are kind of scared of. A lot relies on that Storm Spirit to be doing well in this early game and to just not get picked up that early. And that's gonna maybe be a problem because Storm Spirit is one of those heroes in the mid that is just very susceptible to ganks. It's
Sure.
He doesn't have an escape. Is that just that simple? He is standing on the high ground right now, quite interesting to see. But I think he just want to really have the rune. He did get or did not get pulled anything, by the way. And by the way, let's go over who's playing what, because it's Diamond Dust playing the Storm Spirit. This is Eternal Envy. And we have AY2000 standing in. He's playing the Visage for this game. So indeed, like you said, he's going to be taking on the support role. We have Pylai, the one that picked up the Invis rune, playing the Nyx Assassin as a support. Bone 7 still on the off lane / jungle hero this time, Nature's Prophet for him, and in the mid lane it is Sing Sing back on his former role, taking on the mid Beastmaster, being up against the Dragonite.
Yeah, it does look like Bone 7 is going straight to the jungle. You see that he's gone the Gloves of Haste 2 Clarity, so he's not going to bother to do the whole block off the lanes, try to get the creep pulls messed up. He's just going to go straight to the jungle, get those levels. And the reason for that, I think, is we were just talking about how does Kaipi win this. They can't have an under-leveled Nature's Prophet, so they can't take that chance of putting him off lane early. Trouble for Stallianer in the middle. Pylai is going to land the Impale, but I don't think they have enough damage. Yeah, they don't. So, CDCD, can't describe. This is the first game we're seeing for this team, but it is people that we know by and large. Stallianer in the middle on the Dragon Knight. Seedoy on the Darkseer in the jungle. And their third teammate Nexus is on the Lifestealer. These guys were the core of 3D Clan last season. And then that just leaves SQ Reen, pretty common, I think, Empire stand-in.
Yeah.
So he's on the Jakiro, and then Zonder, who is new to me. I haven't seen him before, but he's on the Naga Siren.
Yeah, and that leaves only one lane where people actually meet each other. It's the mid lane. That's the only one that is PvP is actually going on. Of course, we can keep tabs on seeing the last hit compared to the Storm Spirit to the Lifestealer. That will be an interesting one to see. And a support who is more successful in pulling and stacking. But the mid lane is the one that we're gonna see maybe get first blood, if there's gonna be any kind of gank. Of course, both heroes are kind of known for the same things. They might not be able to win their lane, but they won't lose their lane, and they don't die easily. So, both known for the same strengths, both known they're also kind of for the same weaknesses, because they don't have escape mechanisms apart from just running away and being tanky enough to survive that running away. And that means that we might have some ganks incoming to see if they can be brought down still. Of course, you've got your Nyx Assassin Visage, that's a strong ganking combination for sure. We already have the Visage sitting at level 3, still level 1 for the Nyx Assassin, but that doesn't really matter. It's a little bit stronger ganking combination than I think the Naga Siren and the Jakiro are, especially since they're both still level 1.
I do think it's a little bit stronger. That said, the Nyx Assassin's currency as a ganker is dropping pretty rapidly every time he doesn't get levels. Pylai is in a little bit more of a roaming capacity. But Nyx Assassin, it's not quite the situation that you have with Lion, but you still really want levels. It's very nice that the Visage is leveling freely, and I think this is what they're going for. They're intentionally leaving the Nyx Assassin out for a little while to get the Visage a set of very, very fast levels. But if they do want to gank, they're going to need to level up the Nyx Assassin. I do think Can't Describe are doing a pretty good job of stacking and pulling the jungle, because of course Nature's Prophet isn't interfering. I am kind of interested in this 9 Tango build that Naga went for. I haven't seen this in a very, very long time. I wonder what the purpose of this was.
Jungling Naga Siren?
Sure.
Being able to tank up more, perhaps? It's the only thing I can really think of. Creating some paths, perhaps.
Yeah, so that's the main thing, I guess, is that you can cut a lot of tree paths to do more creative pulling. But so far, they've just done the very standard double radiant. These two camps.
Yeah, in the meantime, Stallianer sitting on 20-for-5 in last hits. Here in this mid lane, with Sting sitting on 17-1, so slightly behind the last hits, but as said, they both probably won't die, as we have got some counter pulls. And look at this! This sentry ward, this one sentry ward, cleared out 2 sentry wards of the enemy team. That's 100 gold traded for 200 gold. Very good for CDCD.
Yeah, and I completely agree. It's the gold equity and the time. Like, they've wasted so much of Pylai's time to do that, that this Nyx Assassin is still wandering around, still level 1, and still hasn't really... Like, it's not that he hasn't tried to contribute, it's that he hasn't really been able to. If he had blocked the camps, that would be one thing, but there's a very well-placed... Sentry placement is, like, a huge, huge thing now, because not everybody's adapted to the new radius, and it really is much smaller.
Yeah. And of course, one of the things is that you can't have observer wards more than one set before 4.5 minutes, which it's right now, so they can buy more wards, but that even means sentry ward placement is even more important. Just to be able to counter observer wards is a big deal. Though none were countered this, well actually one I think was countered this game.
I'm kind of interested in Nexus's approach this game too. So he's gone the straight gloves of haste. I think this might just be fast Midas. And the other thing he's done is this pretty old school approach of taking the 3 and feast. So does help you last hit. Yeah, there's the Midas. Okay. So Midas is done. It is a pretty fast Midas. Maybe Nexus's theory here is, well, they really don't have any hard carries. I could just go straight over the top. And yeah, I can't really disagree with that too much. Beastmaster is basically Kaipi's only tool to deal with this lifestealer.
Yeah. Who knows, maybe when the levels hit, and they are hitting by the way, level 6, they can make a difference here. Of course, level 6 for both heroes allows for action. We have a roar on one side, a dragon form on the other side, with a long range dragon tail of course. And one of these two heroes will probably soon die.
I mean, as soon as one team decides to actually rotate people in, there's definitely the potential to kill. That said, I mean, Beastmaster, pretty high armor, pretty high health. Dragon Knight, I mean, is a famously tanky hero. It's not the easiest thing in the world, especially with an under-level Nyx Assassin, right? So, Piledai is still at level 2. If he comes to the middle, he's not contributing anything more than a 1.27 second stun to the cause. He does almost no damage. So, I mean, again, this is a trade-off. It's not that Kaipi were blindsided by this.
Piledai might be in a lot of trouble. 4 people coming bottom. He's gonna get locked in. They know that they want to go for him. He tries to get himself out, but a Dual Breath hits. Ice Path. Spike Carapace tries to help, but it's too much. Taking way too much damage. Goes down. First blood goes the way of the Naga Siren. As Bone 7, he TP'd in to try and help out. He'll pay for that one. Still Screen will die. That's at least something. Roar up as well. Sing coming trying to help out, but he has to back off. That Iron Shell really hurting him. And it looks like he is going down as well. That's 3 kills going the way of Can't Describe. And KP, they can't do anything but stand by and watch as CD TP's out and gets himself out of harm's way. Only the Jakiro going down. Taking down Nature's Prophet and Beastmaster. Of course, Nyx Assassin went down, that's fine. But Nature's Prophet and Beastmaster, those are the real losses.
Yeah. The timing of that was incredibly awkward for Kaipi. They really, really wanted to be able to... So why did they sacrifice so much on Nyx Assassin? It was for extremely fast level 6 on Support Visage. They got it, but they got it as that fight was wrapping up, rather than just before it began. I actually think that if AUI had been able to hit 6 like a smidge faster, they could have taken that fight by having the Visage be the first to TP, summoning his familiars, getting the stun, and just dominating the fight. But instead, he had to wait until he hit 6, so he was one of the last 2 people to TP in. And so they end up losing 3-1. Honestly, it looks bad for Kaipi, but it's really not as bad as it looks. Like, they were off by a fraction of a minute to stop that.
Yeah, it's 3-1. It kind of more means something like mentally rather than physically. I mean, of course, levels in gold were going the way of CD. But it kind of more means that maybe KP is going to play a little bit more careful. Is going to have their Nyx Assassin at least a little bit more safe, perhaps. They did also lose their tier 1 tower in mid because the creep wave was just bashing on that one when Sing was TPing bottom.
They did deny it, though.
True, but still tactical point lost. But we're going to see if KP, if they're going to make something happen or try to make something happen, or if they're going to be playing extra safe. And I hope that they're going to make something happen with Sing Sing.
I do feel like they need more on Eternal Envy before they can really do a lot. I mean, right now their damage comes from Visage, more or less. They don't have another reliable damage source. And the thing about Visage's damage is it kind of keys off of having another reliable damage source to make sure that every 4 seconds you can let that Soul Assumption fly. So Eternal Envy, especially since he's going Lincoln's first, is going to need to farm for a pretty long while before he's going to be going Bloodstone. No, never mind. This is probably fast Bloodstone.
Now let's see Selena, who's getting slowed. There's nobody in there to close enough to try and help out, though.
And we did see this is actually a really similar approach to the one Kaipi took in the ISO Cup final game 3 against TTD. So the fast Bloodstone Storm Spirit. The cool thing about fast Bloodstone is even if you don't like in that game, people were kind of criticizing the choice, and he was stuck at 4 charges for a really long time. And then you win 1 team fight convincingly, and suddenly you have a 12 charge Bloodstone, and you can just destroy the game.
The 1 team fight needs to be there at some point, though, and it starts to look like CD is pretty strong already. They've got the level 6 on the Naga Siren as well, so their song, their disengaging tool, is there. Nice familiar disables coming out with the Nexus taking a lot of damage because of that, but they smoke up instantly. And even though they're fairly low on life, it looks like they're gonna try to make something happen, and with the mechanism they definitely can.
It's the Rock's Kiss back off smoke, come right back in. That's funny. So Stellianer has shown himself though. I think maybe they can catch somebody, but Kaipi are playing smart. I mean, they're hanging back, Sing Sing and AOI are both behind the tower.
Yeah, there is
here comes the entangle.
Oh, that's gonna be AOI dying for sure. No hope for him. No hope whatsoever. Creep's actually getting the last hits. Tower will therefore also go down. I mean, KP, they're just not ready to defend. As you said, they're wanting to have their Storm Spear with more farm, and right now he doesn't have it, so KP decides, you know, we're giving up that tower, trying to take something in return, but they can't take a tower for themselves. I mean, it's just Eternal Envy hitting the tower, and that's not really going all that fast.
Yeah, the flip side of the Bloodstone Storm is, yeah, at this point, when he just has Ring of Health, like, okay, he makes Perseverance, he doesn't really provide anything in the way of damage. If you have free farm and you go something like Orchid Malevolence, then yeah, you can at least blow somebody up. If you can blow somebody like Jakiro or Naga Siren up with the Orchid Malevolence activation, then that's a fight. I'm not going to say it's won, but you have such a more comfortable route to victory from that position than from the direct 5v5. And we talked about the reactivity of the Kaipi draft. Sure, Beastmaster will nullify Lifestealer in some fights, but other than that, what is he bringing to the table right now, right? Like, Sing Sing was just sitting there throwing out wild axes, but it's not like he could actually try to do something and flip the fight around the way somebody like a Puck or a Queen of Pain could at least try to.
For sure, he's a very defensive hero, more turtle kind of mid than a really aggressive move around the map, getting kills kind of mid. Unless he gets a good lane and then gets a good, or destroys the lane basically, which is not happening very often. He is forced to rotate probably with, actually, they're gonna actually trying to take down the Lifestealer. Nature's Prophet thinking about TPing, Sting's still sitting bottom lane. I was expecting him to rotate along with CD, just to sit back and throw axes, because that's what he can do, but it looks like they're just sacking this entire tier 1 tower. I mean, they're just giving up tower. This is gonna be the 4th tower to go down on the side of KP, and of course one was denied. But this is a lot of early gold going the way of CD. I mean, look at that net worth difference. It's quite insane.
Yeah, I mean, CDCD are playing this exactly correctly. They have the superior push right now and the superior 5v5 fight. So if they go as 5v5 and they push, Kaipi really doesn't have that many tools to actually deal with it. I mean, Kaipi are playing, as painful as it looks from the outside, they're playing this correctly as well. They can't take a fight while CDCD are grouped up. And Eternal Envy doesn't have the items yet to just jump and kill somebody when they're alone. He's getting there. He's making his Bloodstone. He's going to eventually probably disassemble the Arcane Boots to get it a little bit faster. So he's 2/3 of the way to the Soul Booster, halfway to the Perseverance. He's not that far off.
Yeah. Well, soon he'll have it. I wonder if that's going to make a big change. If KP is going to be taken on the aggressive tour, or if they're going to wait until CD once again pushes in, and if KP tries to catch them out right then and tries to turn it in a fight that was initiated by CD, just as hopefully maybe taking them by surprise or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, Nexus's Midas it's not paid off just yet, but it certainly has given him good levels. Like you can see, because of this 5-minute Midas, Nexus is 2 levels, okay, well 1 level ahead of Seedoi, but the point is that Lifestealer is doing extremely well. The gold will eventually start rolling in from the Midas as well. He already has Armlet and Treads, probably going towards his next item soon. Cuirass would be really good this game, I feel, just because it helps Dragon Knight too, but there's other options. Basher would be good against Storm Spirit.
Yeah, in the meantime, Stellianer, the solo mid, is building up towards his BKB, which he has in 1k gold actually, so he's fairly close as well. And just the levels, I mean, Nature's Prophet, of course he has his own Hand of Midas, but he got it a little bit after Nexus did, so he's a little bit more behind. And I think maybe next to the Storm waiting for his Bloodstone, we're also waiting for that Nature's Prophet to actually get some items to do something. He almost has enough gold for Shadowblade, in which case he can maybe start split pushing a little bit more effectively. He hasn't bought anything just yet, and he's sitting on 2600 gold.
Yep. It looks like Kaipi might try to force something here. I mean, they've done a couple good things, like Pylai Dai has found some levels. He's now tied up with SQ Reed at level 6, so he has that Vendetta. I still don't think, yeah, they can just use Visage tricks, but they can't do much other than that. They're going to try for the tower trade. Yeah, unfortunately, Eternal Envy can't even find the tower there. So they're still doing a very good job of not losing any more than they need to. But the issue is going to be pressed pretty soon. CDCD has exactly one outer tower left to kill before they're going to try to high ground.
Yeah, there's finally the Shadow Blade for Nature's Prophet, so he has that. We'll see how effective he can be with that. He needs to be creating some space also for Envy, and those towers dying are so important to get that core gold up. They actually find Seedoy in the jungle, but I don't think he has enough damage to actually take Seedoy down. Nope, not at all. Just forces him away from the jungle, that helps. Some smoked up people helping out. We have Sing Sing coming out.
Oh.
And the Vortex finds Seedoy. Do they have enough damage? The roar from Sing could be there if he gets it. Yes, he does get it. In comes Sunder though with the song. No damage indeed. And the song will allow Seedoy to back off. So this was maybe the chance. As Visage still goes down because Lifestealer found him in the jungle. But this was maybe the chance for KP to start making their comeback. And they just didn't have the damage for it.
Yeah, I actually don't even think the roar was a very... I mean, I don't really know what the point of roaring there is, simply because where is your damage going to come from, right? Like, Storm Spirit already kind of threw out all of his damage. The Visage is your main source of damage. You guaranteed him levels early, but he's actually being destroyed by Lifestealer in the backcourt, because, you know, Lifestealer uses the Rage button and doesn't care about anything Visage does.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a tough situation. They want to start getting kills. When you have a Storm Spirit, you want, at some point, to be able to zip in and just kill people. But unfortunately, they haven't found it just yet. And so, the lineup, I see the theory, but it's not gelling together just yet. I mean, Beastmaster is a fantastic initiator. He'll keep somebody in place for the rest of your team to wail on, but it requires everybody to be present. He will get Aghanim Scepter. That'll improve his range, but I don't know if that necessarily will be their ticket back.
Yeah, Bone 7 sitting on the high ground in the meantime, seeing Seedoy farm the creeps that he probably wanted to start farming. For now, he'll just be a ward though. It's also fun. Of course, one thing that we have to watch is the wards that TD actually put out. Look at that. That dire jungle. They know what's going on. They know what KP is doing, and they can act on it whenever they want to. They have control. It's just that simple. And Bloodstone is up on Storm though. That's gonna be helping him out.
Yeah, I mean, Bloodstone is pretty cool. One of the... Oh, they will get Zonder, I think.
Yeah, the Vortex is there. Everybody moving in from all angles. Even the Roar used, which is, I think, is kind of overkill, considering his song was still on cooldown. But, hey, they get it. So they have a kill. Yay. They might even be able to get that tier 1 tower. In comes Seedoy, though, and he's going to try to make a difference. Sing Sing is not backing off for now. Picks up the tower. Doesn't have a Roar anymore because he threw it up on the Naga Siren. They might even lose their tier 2 for it on the top lane.
Possibly. I mean, Seedoy by himself wasn't going to be able to do anything there, because his team is not there, but they'll try for a trade. I actually don't know if this is exactly correct. I feel like Kaipi is able to punish if they come over quickly enough. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe they want to take down Seedoy instead. Seedoy is going to be surrounded by 3. There's going to be a Sprout up soon as well. He does put up a Darkseer roll, though. He wants to fight back. He's almost taking down Bone 7. He does take down Bone 7 and the next assassin. I wants to go for a triple kill. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Seedoy, triple kill.
What a mess.
What a complete mess. KP.
That's really disastrous. I mean, I think the illusions of the heroes were actually body blocking the heroes from being able to move out. Oh my goodness. That was really well played by Seedoy, honestly. The vacuum was very well placed. The wall was well placed. That is pretty much the worst possible thing that could happen to Kaipi at this point in the game. I can't think of a worse thing to actually happen when you're trying to eke your way back in.
They had a tier 2 under attack. They decided not to defend that one, but to take down a Darkseer instead. And Darkseer was actually pretty fun. I mean, he's level 13, while the rest of the levels of KP, I mean, they were level 11. Still, 2 of them were level 11, 1 was level 7. But they couldn't take him down and lose the tier 2 tower. Oh, no, Nexus gets it, and Radiant gets the Aegis, so that's no Aegis steal, but also no victim. So Storm Spirit's still alive for now, so that is kind of nice. But, oh god, I still can't believe Seedoy got a triple kill there.
Yeah, what a mess. I mean, Kaipi, as I feel like I keep making excuses, and I don't mean to do that really, but the game isn't actually lost as bad as it looks. We talked about Kaipi's way to win being basically get to that split pushing point and have Storm punish the split push punish. They're kinda getting there. I mean, Nature's Prophet has his Shadow Blade, so he's already got his main tool for being able to split push. Storm Spirit, though, isn't there. And the main question is, while the Aegis is up, can they defend high ground? If they can make a couple inspired high ground defenses, then they don't lose. If they don't, then I guess it's kind of trivially obvious that And that's why CDCD wants to close it out right now.
Yeah, they try. Impale, it's only up on Cedar. Saliator goes for Pylai Die though. Turns on his BKB, vacuum back. That's already 1 down, 4 to go. And of course a couple of buildings if they can. In the meantime, AUI is apparently slightly AFK. No, he's fine. Backing out from a wave of creeps.
He's microing his
Oh, it's familiar. Sorry, that requires focus, of course.
It does.
Oh, I'm not trying to be
so
mean.
harsh.
Tier 3
this is
tower
Rax,
though, already down. I mean, KP, they don't have a fortification. They've got a roar, but at the moment, what can they do? In comes the song.
Nice
In comes
song.
the ball lightning as well. Everybody just waiting for Ice Path and vacuums and kills. Sing goes down, vacuum there as well. AOI gets dropped. Maybe Eternal we can do something. He's able to take down the Jakiro, but he has to go back afterwards. The melee racks go down. The buyback are there for both the Visage and the Beastmaster, but this lane of racks is done for. And this is CD backing off.
Really well done fight. Good Naga sleep. Good combo. I mean, they have the better 5v5.
Yeah.
So.
We already decided that during the draft. I mean, that's a team fight potential. Whoa, Sing, what are you... Or, sorry, Envy, what are you doing?
What is he doing?
He might have just killed himself. He's completely out of mana, but no, they don't go for him. Courtesy.
Yeah, I mean, so they made certain strategic choices here that were gambles and just didn't pay off. Like, you know that Nyx Assassin and Visage are both relatively level-dependent supports. So rather than say, oh, we want 2 of them to have mediocre levels, they elected to give Visage all the levels. And what really happened with that, right? Like, this is a Visage who is guaranteed levels because Nyx Assassin refused, like, didn't take any XP, and he's 0-3-1. Like, when you make that decision to give Visage levels, it has to have some follow-through. And that's what Kaipi didn't really manage to put together this game.
It's 11-3 in the kill score. I mean, both of the support duos are actually fairly poor. They're fairly even, surprisingly, considering the difference in the way things are going right now for the teams. But it's just Lifestealer that his Hand of Might is just completely paying off. And Dragonite, of course, doing really well with that bottom fight basically being the decider up until this point still. KP,
Yeah.
they can't get a foot in the door.
They don't have damage. It's still their problem. They can't actually kill people like Lifestealer, people like Darkseer. That's the whole thing. If they have enough burst, right? Like, or if they have Orchid on Storm, that triple kill for Sidoi in the middle does not happen, right? It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But they don't have damage. They don't have silence or really like enough disabled to lock him down for long enough. He mechs and he triples, and now Lifestealer is close to a heart. Like, where is the damage on Kaipi that's going to kill a heart Lifestealer?
Yeah, well, they're fortifying their tier 3 tower. They're gonna try again to defend. The slow's already up on Staliana, but he doesn't seem worried at all. He's just hitting on towers and buildings because he can. Looking for a Dragon Tail. Doesn't find it just yet. A roar goes up on Sunder, the one with the song. They want to take him down. In comes the Impale, though, and it is Envy that dies instead. Still, also Naga dies, but Nyx Assassin dies as well. Buyback from him, but what can he do right now? Not very much. The Soul Assumption still punishes Akira for hanging around too long. Sing gets picked off as well. That's Dragonite with a double kill. He does go down for it. Nature's Prophet in the end with the last hit. They want to try and take down Bone 7, who tries to TP. He's just right outside his base, TPing out because he can. Envy dies for the second time within a minute in this
Down
fight.
to 2 charges on Bloodstone.
Oy. And that's, I mean, they lose their melee racks. They lose their Nyx Assassin twice in a row as well. And this is... I wouldn't be surprised if this was game. Oh, Bone 7, are you sure you want to do this? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He gets it, but he goes down for it. GG is called.
I mean, play for the post-game screen. Get those kills.
Yep.
You're not going to win, so...
Well, he gets the kills at least. 17-7, it is KP that was having the honor of opening the first match up against CD. Can't describe for StarSeries Season 7. KP not the one to get the points this game. It was CD that starts off with 1 point in favor of all the other teams in the tournament.
Yeah, it's good job by CDCD. I mean, the team that people don't really know. Even as 3D Clan, they weren't exactly the most feted team on the block, but showing that the strong core that is stuck together. I mean, these 3 primary players, Sidoi, Stalianer, Nexus, who are playing the cores, they've been playing together for
ages.
2 years?
Yeah.
Sure, it's been on different teams, but you could just see the familiarity and just the comfort with their game plan. Like, they never deviated from their game plan in that game, right? Like, they were always pursuing one goal.
Yep. We're gonna see CDCD again, because that's fun. We want to get to know them better. We want you to get to know them better, and we're gonna see them going up against Poseidon. and that's actually a team that you should recognize. In terms of players, it is, of course, Kezai, Crazy, Illidan, or Airman. That's, of course, 3 former members of Virtus Pro playing together with Medved and Elite. So stick around for another match of StarLadder. We have 4 in total today, and we are going to have 3 more to go through. So stick around, and we'll be right back.